Hey there friends, and thanks for joining me. And I was tagged by My Frugal Life to do a quick video, and since I almost never get tagged or invited to collabs or anything like that, of course I have to participate. So thank you so much for tagging me. And basically the way that this goes is that there is a list of questions, and then we're all supposed to basically just answer the questions, and we're all going to do them in our own unique way, so everybody has different answers. So anyway, I'm just going to read them really quickly and then answer each question. I will say though that most people who have been on YouTube for a while probably already have a lot of these questions answered in previous videos. And so what I'm going to try and do is come up with some new things, or that's what I have done, is come up with some new things to answer these questions. And since there's a lot of questions and I'm really long-winded sometimes, I'm going to try and make sure to limit each one to just 2 answers, even though there could be more that, I could answer them with just to keep the video shorter. We're just going to limit them to just 2 quick answers. So here we go. Question number 1 is, what are the most important frugal things you do every day to save money? And I would say the first thing that I do, probably to save money or to keep from spending money, this first one anyway, is I ask myself, do I have something that will serve this purpose? And a lot of times I will find that I actually do. So keeps, a lot of the clutter out of the house, and it just really helps. That one question has actually saved us, or even my husband, from spending money on things that we probably didn't need to. So that was helpful. Number 2, the next one would be to do things from home. Instead of going out for coffee or tea, we do it at home. Instead of, going out to eat, we eat at home. Instead of buying a water bottle out, we bring a water from home. Everything we do, we basically do either at or from home. So this saves us, I seriously think, like bajillions of dollars, because this sort of stuff really adds up. These sort of little purchases are really what I think make a lot of people broke by the end of their pay period before their next paycheck. And it just, really adds up and causes people to really wreck their budget. So keeping us on track, doing as much stuff from or at home definitely saves us a ton of money. However, I will admit that this is also probably the easiest and fastest way to turn into a hermit. So if you want a quick how-to video on how to do that, this would be it. Just do everything from home and stop leaving home. There you go. You're welcome. All right, next question. The next one is going to be, what is your best strategy for saving on utilities? I did a whole video on saving on your utilities. All this, I broke it down on water, saving on gas, saving on electricity. And so to come up with some new ones, I will say that this new house has central AC, and so I'm going to keep it related to those because that's something that's new to us. We've never had central AC before, and so one of the main things that we've been doing to save on AC, because I know that that can get really expensive, some people have even said that their summer bill is just as high as their winter bill to heat their house just in AC costs. So one of the things we've been doing is either keeping it off or keeping the temperature really high. So like right now my AC is set to like 78. So instead of having it set to like 72, we set it really high, 77, 78, and then we'll run fans because moving air feels cooler than stagnant air. So if we feel hot, instead of turning down the AC, we'll just turn on a fan. And a fan is by far cheaper to run than the AC. So that's helping, I think, a lot. It has not made our bill spike that much, and we've really been using the AC very minimally. And the second thing we've been doing to be saving on this AC, for the second part of the answer to this question, would be that we are actually trying to open the windows at night and then keeping the windows closed during the day. We will even put on some fans sometimes if it's actually, we need some of the air being pulled in here more. Because what this does is it actually lets the cool air in the house overnight when it cools off, and then you keep the windows closed so it actually holds the cool in the house, and it's actually been very effective. Our house has actually been staying very cool naturally throughout the day. It doesn't really even tick up to where it's an uncomfortable level until it's like close to dinner time, and then once I cook, that probably just sets it over the edge, and that's when we really need the AC. But that's really only a few hours, so from around dinner time until it actually gets dark, yeah, using it for just those few hours instead of all day or all night really saves a ton of money. So that's my second tip. If you want any more tips on how to save on your utilities, I'll link a video either at the end of the video or on a card. Let's see. The next question is going to be, what is your best tip to save on food and household products? Well, let's talk about household products first. I already did a whole video series on saving on household products by making your own cleaning products. We are still using all of them. Anytime we want, to freshen up our carpets, we use the vacuum powder. I use the all-purpose spray every single day. Cleaning our mirrors and our windows, we use the same exact recipes. I have not bought a pre-made, cleaning chemical thing in, I can't even remember how long. It's seriously been so many years that I cannot remember how long it's been. So I've been doing these homemade ones for a really long time. I'm really happy with them. And so if you want, to save some money on some household cleaning products, I would definitely recommend making your own or even switching just a few, because you can save some money on just saving, switching to those few instead of having to switch all of them. That might be a little bit overwhelming. Or if you have some you really like, you don't have to get rid of the ones you really like, but maybe some of the others that are more expensive. There's, alternatives to them. And just really quick, I will mention that this also saves on our health, because those cleaning chemicals are actually really bad for us, and they can make indoor air quality less good than outdoor air quality. And it has even been, shown to, shorten the lives of, house women, stay-at-home moms or, housewives and things like that. So, we don't want to shorten our life, and we don't want to end up with a critical illness. And so, reducing our toxic load is definitely very important. And since we can do both at the same time, save money and our health at the same time, this is totally a win-win. So that's the number one. And the second one, how we save on food. Okay, I did a whole nother video on saving on food, because there's a lot of different ways that people can use to save on food. Some people save on food by, putting together a meal plan. And other people think that they save more money by not putting together meal plans. And honestly, I don't think that either of those are wrong. I think different people have different tactics for doing things, and there's no wrong way. It's not like everyone who meal plans spends more or everyone who meal plans spends less. So it really just depends on the family. So I did a whole video on all these different ways that you can cut back on food. But in the interest of coming up with some new ones, I have what I call the cheap 5. And the cheap 5 are like 5 ingredients that are super cheap. And if you can base your meals on these ingredients, you will probably spend a whole lot less money than, spending on all of the other stuff that can get really expensive. So the cheap 5 are pasta, potatoes, beans and lentils, rice, and oats. Those are really, really, really inexpensive. Now, I know everyone's going to have a different, idea on what of this is actually healthy. Personally, I think they're all healthy. You just have to be careful on, the types you're choosing and whatnot. Beans, a very good source of protein, and fiber, and they don't even have a lot of fat or anything like that. Rice can be really healthy. Brown rice can be better, but, it depends on the type of rice you're getting. Lentils, again, very cheap. So any of these, you can make soups and stews and just all sorts of different dishes, burritos and all this stuff. That's my favorite way whenever I'm trying to cut down our food budget. What we will do is just, base our meals on these cheap 5 ingredients. Anyway, so the next question is, what is your best tip to save on clothes? Number 1 is to buy cheap clothes in the first place. I actually have quite a few clothes that actually look fairly decently nice, but they were actually just from like Walmart, or at least they look nice in my opinion. But yeah, so when I'm at home, I wear really cheap clothes. Like today, I am just hanging around the house. I'm going to work in the backyard. I've got some laundry to do, and then later we're going to the pool. There's really no reason to wear anything nicer. And then I'm going to save my nicer clothes for when I actually have something I need something nice for. So when I'm doing like interviews for my job, or, just anything like that, I will make sure to wear those nicer clothes then, and then wear my cheaper clothes the rest of the time. And then the second one would be to buy stuff that's clearance or out of season. I recently did a video on when to find stuff, the cheapest, when during the year those clearance stuff comes up. And right now, in the middle of the summer, they're putting all their summer stuff on clearance. So you get stuff now if you need some things, you use them for the rest of the summer, and then you've got them for next year. And so buying stuff out of season at the end of the year, sometimes it's halfway through the seasons that they start getting rid of stuff for the next season, you can get some really big discounts. Okay, the next question is, what is your best strategy to stay out of debt or pay it down? Staying out of debt, I cannot answer this question quickly, so I'm not even gonna try. This is seriously a whole video on its own, so I'm sorry I can't answer this portion of the question. However, I will answer this buying down or paying down the debts. My favorite way to pay down debts is actually based on interest rates. Personally, I think that looking at the interest rate is more important than looking at the balance. Paying down the highest interest rate loans first is actually going to make your money go further faster than looking at the actual dollar figure, the actual number. Now, I know a lot of people have a differing opinion on this. There's the debt snowball method, you know, using just the numbers on how much they actually are, and then paying down those first. And then there's the debt avalanche method, which is paying down the interest rates first. That's my favorite method. And I think it just works, you know, if I were ever to find myself into some different debts, you know, that had different interest rates, I know that that's the way that I would attack them so that my money could go the furthest, the fastest, and that the least amount of our money would be going to the banks or the, you know, credit unions or whoever it is you owe. So there you go. Next one, please share one thing you do to save money that other people don't know. I have always been really open on this channel. This is not something that I've, you know, shied away from. I did a DIY laundry video where I was just doing it off grid, and I basically told the whole world that I reuse my clothes, you know, several times, even sometimes before I will wash them. You know, I've talked about reusable feminine hygiene. I mean, I don't shy away from topics. So there really isn't a whole lot that I haven't really mentioned on my channel. So I had to really think hard to think of something to answer for this one. But I will say that I use half a squirt of soap when doing routine hand washing instead of a full squirt of soap. But a full squirt is like huge. It's a huge puddle of soap. So a half a squirt is like, I know it's plenty to get clean. And because sometimes my kids can be soap wasters, I actually have a bar of soap in their bathroom so that they don't have to sit and use a whole bunch of liquid soap, and then we'll go through a ton really fast. So yeah, that's what I do that nobody probably knows about. And I know that wasn't very exciting. Sorry. All right, and then the last question. How important is it for you to save money? Obviously, it's super important because I feel like we can really live a better life by, you know, cutting back on a lot of things that we really don't need to spend money on. And having, you know, some money in savings or knowing that we're living below our means has a lot of security. And I really feel good about having that sort of security, knowing that, you know, if there was an emergency that were to pop up, that we would be able to meet that emergency and that we will be taken care of in the event that there's something that needs taken care of. So thanks for watching this quick tag video, or what I attempted to make a quick tag video. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.